Another day in the wood shop. I'm getting a really late start today. I had to run to town to get more material. Kind of not counted quite right on how much material I'd need for all of these parts. It's kind of a difficult calculation, I find. But anyway, I've got another 10 1x6s here. Most of these, I think, well, all of the parts I need to cut are these cleats for the covers. It's just 2-inch wide, so I'll rip the 1x6s 2 inches wide and 16 5/8 long. That is all I need to cut. So once I've got those cut, then we can start with assembly. So assembly comes, get some more screws so I don't run out in the middle of assembly. I've got glue. I actually use Peel Premium on some of my parts on my pallets. I have plenty of Titebond 3. I have plenty of staples, and that's all I need for my assembly. So I'm going to slice up these 1x6s. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're having as much fun as I'm having. I kind of enjoy this. It's a whole lot better than being outside. Hey, here's something I heard on the radio today while I was driving the truck. The guy on the radio said, and this is Celsius, okay? He said it's minus 14 right now for my American friends. That's like 6 or something like that Fahrenheit. He said this. He said, "Well, it's minus 14 right now." He said, "But it's going to get cold tonight." You know you're living in Canada when somebody says it was minus 14, but it's going to get cold. So anyway, have fun, stay warm. Look at that, 2" by 3/4, completely clear. A lot of people may say that I overthink a lot of things, and I do. And here's one of those things, but boy is it ever nice. As I cut my parts, I have this little tool here. I call this zippy wrap. There's probably a lot of brands of this kind of thing. You may have seen me use it in an earlier video wrapping some frames. This is very economical. It takes me forever to use up one of these rolls. I buy it by the case. I buy a case every 5 years, whatever. But just in no time flat, I can run this stuff around a package of parts, and then that's one piece that I can set anywhere in my shop, keep it all together. I don't have things falling everywhere, because I've got a number of parts here. There's 10 or 15 different parts that I've been cutting here for my equipment that I'm building. So anyway, that's just one of the little overkill things that I do that I feel really helps me out a lot. So then when it comes time, we just cut into it with the utility knife. Of course, I should be stacking that somewhere convenient. So I'll do that now. I wonder why food wrap is so expensive. You know, cling wrap, whatever you want to call it. Because I buy this stuff, I buy it in a big long roll too for wrapping pallets of different things. It's not that expensive. Maybe there's something special about the food wrap that makes it okay to use in the kitchen. Cannot say. My first thing, I need 3 of these to keep them. These are the pallet risers. These are the pallet runners. I'm out of space, so I have to put the runner somewhere else. Okay, so I think you can guess what's going to happen here. Space these out a little bit. I'm only building 7 of these. If I build a lot of these, what I do is I set this up as a little jig to space my 2x4s. So I'll just slot these 2x4s in here, pull the plywood over, and screw it down. But I'm only building 7, so taking the time to do that isn't going to buy me anything. Another little overkill thing that I do. This is PL Premium. It's used for a lot of different things. I think you glue down flooring with it, don't you? I've seen people glue masonry bricks together with PL Premium. There's not much better adhesive, I think, in a lot of ways than peel premium. Okay, so I'm new at this. I shouldn't have glued that, but that's okay. What I need to do, however, is find the center of my pallet so I can line up that center too before. We'll just put that down there, kind of sort of get it lined up. That'll work just fine. I like to get that as nice as I can. Here's a little assembly trick. I can't see the end of this, so put my fingers equidistant each side of that mark, push the 2x4 through, and then I can line it up with the mark. And this is not fine furniture. You're off a bit. That's not going to make a hill of beans to anything. And that's where you get the glue on your fingers. And to save screws, I can in fact remove these two screws once the glue is set, because my pallet clip will reside in a very similar location, something like that. And I put a 3-inch, number 10 3-inch screw in each hole, so there's 2 of those here. So at that point this screw is quite redundant. So it'll just save some screws. Screws are not cheap, they don't give them away. So, there, we got that done. Some time ago when I started doing this, I made this little guide, and I've actually been able to hang on to it all these years. And all that does is give me a mark to show me where this runner is going to sit. Why don't I put the runners out here, you ask? You ask because you haven't seen my video on why I build my pallets and lids the way I do. And I pre-drill these because I don't want the wood to split, particularly at the end like that. I've had very good success with these pallets. I've been using them for about 5 years now, and they work out really well. So now I have my marks, so I'm going to put a little more peel premium here. I'll try to not get too carried away. You see me build things on videos, you'll know that often I use too much glue. Not such a big deal, things hold together nicely, but they don't give glue away for free either, so it's kind of a waste of money. Now you say, oh, I missed that line. I've learned to give myself a little more leeway than that. And that's because of why I set it back. You're dying to know why I set the runner back like that, aren't you? Well, since you asked, I'll tell you. These are migratory pallets. I don't do pollination, but I do move my bees to out yards. I'm going to turn that around so I can see that line more easily. And the reason I use pallets is so I can move my bees, and my honey for that matter, with my tractor. I have forks on my tractor. Actually, you may have seen my tractor in the background, some of my videos here. So not so much for hauling honey, but when hauling bees, 2 beehives on a pallet, you often stack them. I stack them when they're in my wintering building. And when I build my covers, imagine this is upside down. These are the top cleats of my covers. So again, this is upside down. So you can imagine this pallet sitting on top of the beehives below it. Okay? Don't forget, it's upside down. This is the cover of the beehive that's below this pallet. When I put a top cleat on here, like so, something like that, that cleat will more or less interlock with this pallet, like so. Alright? So you got the cover, cleat, and then the pallet that's sitting on that beehive will interlock with this cleat, and thereby making it a little safer to drive around with the hives stacked. If you're hauling them on the truck or trailer, they're a little more secure tied together. So that's why. Aren't you glad you asked? And for today, this one's done, because I do the top assembly on day 2. Chiefly because by the time I'm done assembling all the pallets I assemble in a day, I'm tired. Quite practically, I want to wait till the glue bead under here dries, and then I'll take that screw out. This piece of wood goes atop that screw, thusly. So if I were to assemble this whole thing, I wouldn't be able to take that screw out. And you know, when I put that clip on there, when I put that hive clip in here, my nice little rabbit, the number of times that I'll drive a screw through here and whack right into that one, and then I can't do anything, that happens a lot. So it's kind of a save myself some annoying frustration by taking that screw out. And again, it's redundant at this point. It's not necessary. You may have noticed I love my Milwaukee tools. I bought into the M12 line of Milwaukee tools probably 10 years ago. They've served me well. I kind of wish I had sprung for the M18 system. I have since purchased a couple of M18 tools. That 1/2-inch drill you may have seen me use drilling the holes for the feed plugs and the covers. And I also now have a M18 circular saw. Man, that's a nice tool. We did a roofing job here, a small one, last summer. I cut all the roofing with that M18 circular saw. Like the sheeting, we sheeted with OSB. Never skipped a beat. Didn't even come close to running the battery down. And the M18 tools are way more powerful than the M12. The M12 has a lot of power. 3-inch deck screws is why I bought these tools. This is the standard battery. When that was new, that'll drive 3-inch deck screws for half an hour and charge in 20 minutes. I just picked up this battery. That's 6 amp hour. See, that has 16 watt hours. Different readings. If that's 6 amp hour, I'll bet you that little one's only about 2